All right, let's not push any more victory points. We want the Spanish gold pretty bad. Shit. Shit. Well, hold on. Maybe we can get it from the Republicans. So let's just go on a beach vacation. I guess Almeria is nice this time of year.
Dude, I love Valencia. Boys, let's go to Cadiz.
I'm gonna go sicko mode if we don't get the Spanish goal.
I literally, as you were saying it, it just was like, nah.
You know, shit be happening, man. Let's see. So we do need, at minimum, 240 political power to take the Baltics, but that's in 1939. I don't really... I guess we could hire a chief of the Air Force, but it might be better to just hold the political power for now. Either that or... You know what? Let's get Mikhail Kalin in. He has 15% stability. That'll help us quite a bit. Also, your heavy ship is done. I don't know if you have all the modules you need. Yeah, I didn't think so.
No, I don't. It's going to take a bit. I'm going to build up our anti-submarine force first.
Gotcha. Okay, yeah, our tank divisions look fine. So, you said the B-17 was one of your favorite planes, but you never gave the other two. What were, what are those?
Well, like, favorite to look at, or favorite in just in any, like,
for World War II. And I mean, it's really any fashion that you feel.
Oh, let me think. I'm gonna be cheesy. The P-51. I've been up right next to one. They're beautiful.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I mean, like, definitely overhyped. Like, honestly, the P-47 really did what. Like, if there was any plane that if we could bring back an airplane to use as a ground attacker, it should not be the P-51, but it should be the P-47, because that radial engine is one of the most reliable things that was ever built.
Mm-hmm.
Also, just genuinely a good ground attacker, but also, so I guess I'll go with, instead of the second one being the Mustang, I'll go with P-47, and then probably, because my family helped build the P-38, I really like the P-38.
Were they at the Lockheed plant in California?
Yes, they were.
Okay. That's cool.
Yeah, my great-grandfather, he had a military deferment because he fucked his back up as a milkman, which, used to be a job, and then he went to go work in the factories and make P-38s. And then eventually I had family who went to go work for, I want to say, I don't think it was Skunkworks at the time, but it was DARPA, and they built the SR-71s.
Oh, cool.
And there was a whole bunch of people who think they saw UFOs in the 70s, and what they actually saw was the SR-71. Not to say that they may have not seen UFOs, but just more than likely it was the SR-71.
That's a cool 3 list. The P-38 used to be my favorite plane of all time for a very long time. War Thunder really soured me on it, though, because I'm just so shit with it in War Thunder. So,
as far as technology goes, they have a really interesting cooling system. But there's not a lot of other nations that were able to pull off the same thing that we did with the P-58 or P-30.
Italy made a twin boom plane as well, the SM-92. Although theirs was more of an attacker than it was like an air defense fighter.
I know nothing of Italian planes other than they sucked.
Some of them were really good. The ones with German engines and German machine guns. In fact, the British would comment that like stuff like the G-55 and the C-205 were better than Spitfires. But they didn't make very many of them.
Yeah, that's the thing, is they just didn't make very many. Like, didn't the Hungarians had their own domestic medium tank design,
Yeah, the
but
Turon.
and I don't know how good it was, but
In
there
War
just
Thunder, it's
weren't
pretty
that
damn
many.
good. Alright, there we go. We seized the Spanish gold. We can go sicko mode now. Whew.
All right, vacation's over, boys.
Yep, time to get off the beach vacation now to go fight on the beach.
Oh wait, I grabbed your guys.
No, no, these are mine. We're good. I was
Oh,
in
I
Almeria. You were in Malaga. Also, you might want to remove the order unless you already got it.
all right.
We used quite a bit of tanks in that engagement. Like we're short 150 now.
I usually come out of it. I think that's the other reason that I use the Mountaineers is because I come out of it with more tanks.
Right. Well, the thing about light tanks, at least, is we're gonna stop using them pretty much after this conflict's over. Although they do go great with paratroopers because they just transfer directly. Like you
I've
don't.
always wondered how they transfer and like with the new stuff. I've just never even bothered with new paratroopers since the new
Oh,
updates.
they're so sick. The special forces tree makes paratroopers go sicko mode.
I've noticed that just the Mountaineers get pretty insane, and it seems like the buffs that the paratroopers get are pretty insane as far as like
I
the.
really like going down the right side completely. You can really go crazy. Like combat insertion reduces the organization of enemy troops in the state they insert in.
Oh yeah, that's what I do for paratroopers as well, all the way down the right side.
And then like medical detail, strategic airlift,
Yes.
just some really good stuff there. And as the Soviet Union, you can get like 24 to 48 divisions of paratroopers. You have not lived until you have captured every single supply point behind enemy lines all at once.
Oh, which we should actually try and pull that off this time.
Maybe we could pull it off. It definitely requires a lot of air cover and a lot of range on your airplanes, I'll put it that way. Oh, and keeping a mindful eye of enemy AA, because that just shreds paratroopers. Like, it automatically cuts off a bunch of their strength if you land in a place with AA.
And that I guess that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like it's difficult to shoot a paratrooper down.
No.
After all, they got those parachutes. Although I'm sure you've heard of the famous anecdote of the Soviets when they were trying to do paratrooping in the early 30s, but they couldn't afford silk, so they didn't have parachutes.
Oh, the good old. Yep, you've talked about it. The Soviets just. Yep, you jump.
Elbow the
Hope the
snow.
snow's thick.
Yep.
Have you? Oh, Have you seen Rogue Heroes?
No, I have not.
It's a. Oh man, it's a show about the SAS in World War II and kind of like how they came to be, and they came to be basically by stealing stealing equipment from their own guys so they could actually jump out of airplanes. And it goes in. It is definitely dramatized, but they do a really good job of like trying to show just how badass these guys were. But a lot of them just were normal guys, or on their face, normal people.
Apparently, the SAS are responsible, and along with the long-range desert recon group, were responsible for a lot of damage to the Italians in like Libya.
Yes, and they go into how they did that. Like that's the whole I think first season is the Libya campaign and the recon group. Like the SAS were nothing without the desert recon group.
And then they also
Like
paradropped in Sicily, and they managed to get
yes,
Italians to leave their forts with just machine guns, basically. Like, they didn't even have shit on them.
I want to say it's either that's going to be in the next season is going to be the invasion of Italy. Oh wait, no, they did the invasion of Italy. D-Day is the next one. Which I mean, one will be really interesting to see from the British perspective of like what's going on, because like I've seen Save It Private Ryan and whatnot. Uh,
A decent
so it'll be
enough
interesting.
movie.
Yeah, I
A
even just for
lot of
the
people
emotion.
hate on it. You know, like Enemy at the Gates, because it's not exactly historically accurate or whatever.
No,
And the acting can be a little crazy here and there, but I think it holds up fairly well.
just as a emotional piece of work. I'm like, and that's what I when I talked about Fury. Should we speed up?
Yeah, we could go to 4 speed. That's fine.
Well, especially now that we're just kind of letting the Spanish.
We're
We're
just
just
cooking them
fighting
up.
over.
I mean,
Yeah.
they're as about as desperate as it gets right now in their corner.
Uh, but just as an emotional piece of like from the cinematography aspect, definitely could be better. But at the time, I think they did a pretty good job.
Hmm.
Uh, but All Quiet on the Western Front and like those kind of movies really are awesome.
I'll put it this
Have you
way:
heard?
I like Saving Private Ryan better than Dunkirk.
I liked. I think I watched Dunkirk once. I liked the tension, but I of all events to make a movie about, I really like. Okay, yeah, sure, but like it's just a bunch of people standing around getting shot at for part of the movie.
Have you seen T-34? It's a Russian movie.
I I've heard. I think I've heard about it. Isn't
It's
it kind
pretty
of like a meme?
crazy. I think they teamed up with War Thunder to make it. So like you see shell ballistics and it flying through the air and shit, and the penetrating shots.
Nice.
Oh, there goes Tukhachevsky.
Um, oh, that's
Oh.
sad. I love getting Tukhachevsky in my
I'm gonna go
playthrough.
ahead and
Like
do
I
behead the snake yet, so I hope you're ready to assassinate
yeah.
Trotsky.
I how do I actually do I have to do anything?
Well, I would start building up a thing in Mexico right away. So get him over there, your spy, because you
Um,
need like 30% intelligence level before you can execute the plan.
let's see. There was a movie that I just watched the other day that I think you would like. It's called Number 24. It's based off the guy who was in charge of the Norwegian resistance.
Oh, okay.
Um,
I actually watched a
it
movie about the from the perspective of the Norwegians not that long ago on my flight to Europe.
oh hell yeah.
It was called Convoy or something. It was about one of the Arctic convoys.
Um, this was it was about a banker who lived in Oslo. I think he lived in Oslo, and he he didn't like the Nazis and he joined up with the resistance, and it really shows how like at the beginning there were people in Norway who were part of the army who wanted to fight back against the Nazis head to head, and they tried,
They didn't have enough
and
ammo for one. Like
well, they
the
didn't have
army
enough
was just
ammo.
gutted.
They didn't have ammo. They had outdated weapons. The Nazis had air power. They had basically limitless resources compared to the Norwegian resistance.
Hmm.
And the it basically came down to this guy traveling back and forth across Norway, doing a whole bunch of different stuff, trying to get stuff to Sweden, so they could fly it from Sweden um, to out. Sorry, from out of Sweden to Britain, because there's like flights that they'd show going to Scotland and whatnot, where they'd go for like training, and it's just genuinely a good war movie from the perspective of cinematography, and
When did it come out?
I think it came out last year
Oh, okay. Yeah,
or
they've been pretty active lately because that Convoy movie was also just a couple years ago, if that.
yep, it came out 2 years ago. It's called Number 24.
Hmm.
Uh, what's his name? Gunnar Sonsby.
Oh, okay. He's a real
But
gooner, huh?
his, yep. And dude, it's great. Like, I guess there was very little shooting that they actually did, but they did a lot of blowing up the Nazi stuff, or at least that's what they showed in the movie.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's one
Um,
thing the commando raiders were doing with the British was blowing up like oil plants in Norway
well,
and
in the whole
running
movie,
out.
it goes back from the I think it's the actual. I think Gunnar Sonsby, the person who like the actual veteran, for lack of better words, telling a story to a crowd in the same dam that the Norwegian resistance blew the heavy water out, or stopped the Germans getting heavy water from.
Oh, so they include that in there as well.
Yeah,
Talk about a
they don't
daring
act,
raid.
they basically they don't even talk about it. That's the thing, is there's so much that goes on that it's just like it's a thing of like, if you know, they're just, you can tell they're in a hydroelectric station. And I'm sorry, but like, if you're a World War II history nerd, how many hydroelectric stations are there in Norway that are central to the Norwegian resistance? Um,
Hey,
so that was,
congratulations, we beat him. Lots of army experience, some good amount of air
dude,
experience. And we can stop making light tanks now as well for now. And we'll shift that production to support equipment. It's also a good time to start training some more divisions. We're going to need quite a few more, so I'll make
we.
96.
How many do you normally have?
I like to have between 2 and 3 infantry armies of 120 divisions on the border. And then, like,
Okay,
however many tank divisions I can get. Usually, I like to operate in numbers of 6 for tank divisions. Any less than that, I don't feel like they're that effective. Any more than that, they take too much supply.
makes sense.
Naval boy over here.
Hey, I've got my dockyards planned out for the next 10 years.
Now, here's my question. Are you training the Navy at all?
Not right now because they're completely trained up. I've got some ships that I'm having refurbished right now.
Okay. And then,
Uh,
let's see here.
all of our destroyers will have sonar.
Okay, makes
Uh,
sense. I'm turning all of these NVKD divisions into real ones.
uh, I might start screwing around with my mountaineers soon here.
Yeah, whatever you gotta do. Fine by me. I'm gonna move the tanks over to Leningrad. Oh, they're already there. Even better. And then I'm also changing around the tank division as well, to reflect on our need for motorized divisions. Or, well, we're gonna have a lot more motorized. The division's gonna be 35 width, so I'm gonna need to make it a lot bigger in general to reflect that.
Okay.
Looks a little goofy at the moment, but it'll be fine. There we go. Now it's 26th width. And we also have... we have a surplus of tanks now, good. Instead of a deficit.
We're probably we're a ways out from getting radar, aren't we?
Well, we don't even have the facility, for one. Also, I hired the spy you need to start working on Trotsky. So when you hit that
Okay.
30%, you can go right in. And he's... I don't know what it is, but when you have him, it pretty much is guaranteed to work. So just keep that in mind. I'm going to go ahead and get radio for us.
Nice.
So as far as my three favorite planes are concerned, I would say that of the World War II era, that is. The Lancaster definitely comes to mind with its huge 12,000-pound bomb and like how effective they were in the night runs. That's definitely the first one that comes to my mind.
Those are beautiful planes. Well, I mean, ugly but beautiful in their own way.
Right, cheap to make for what it's worth. Not the best gunners, but they flew at night because they knew what they were doing. You don't fly during the day with bombers. Shouldn't anyway. Americans learned that the hard way. The Zero is probably on that list for sure. It's an amazing plane. Japanese couldn't really make very good engines, so they made it as lightweight and aerodynamic as possible to make up for it.
Especially at the beginning of the war, they were really good aircraft.
Mm-hmm.
Like especially when they didn't have to cut their standards, and when they actually had pilots who were trained in how to use them.
Yeah, that's 100% on that. And then as far as the third one goes, I would say it's probably the Corsair or the Hellcat. It's really hard to pick between the two of them. I'd say probably the Corsair just because it has a more unique look. Also, Corsair went 7-1 against Japanese planes. They weren't messing around.
Wasn't one of the main strengths of the Corsair its speed?
Well, it was indeed fast. It was also really good at retaining energy. So if it had a good amount of energy, it could turn really well. So they could compete with the Japanese planes, even though they're so well regarded for their turn fighting capability.
Corsairs are huge.
Oh yeah, absolutely, massive planes.
And I love the double wasp engine.
Mm-hmm.
I mean that's why, in part, why I chose the P-47 is because they have don't they have the double wasp engine as well?
I'm not sure if it's the same engine, but they definitely have a very similar look on their fuselage up front, so it could be.
They're both radial engines, and I know that the Corsair, well, sorry, I'm pretty sure that they both use the double wasp, but they might use slightly different versions.
Well, I think that they're made by different companies, so it could be different engines, because P-47's Republic made them. And then I think Grumman made the Corsair, but I'm not 100 on that.
Let me look it up.
Yeah, if anyone down in the comments below knows before he looks it up, you win a cookie, I guess.
P-47 had a double wasp Corsair engine. It also had a double wasp.
Okay, so same engine, but what company made the Corsair?
That was the Vought made it.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
But just because they use the same engine doesn't mean that the airframe wasn't designed and manufactured by different people.
Mm-hmm.
Because Pratt and Whitney manufactured the double wasp.
Mm-hmm.
But I know Pratt and Whitney doesn't have any airframes, or at least I don't think they have any airframes accredited to their name.
Maybe? I'm not sure. Not a fan.
Because I know they make engines. I know that.
And America certainly had some fantastic engines. It really helped that we had great access to high-octane fuels. That was a really big deal for that. Like, I don't know if you played much War Thunder Air, but like you can research like 130, 140 octane fuel for the P-47. Meanwhile, for the Russians, you can research 90 octane fuel.
I didn't know that they even added in the different octanes that you could research.
Yeah, the performance is insanely different. Just how it handles.
Well, and then the way that each country fought their air war is completely different. So, like, the Air Cobra had very little use in our doctrine, but for the Soviets...
Oh, they loved that plane, the P-39.
Yeah.
Didn't really care for the Spitfire so much.
Well, why was that? I legitimately don't know.
Probably because it didn't perform so well in cold weather, is my guess.
Oh, yeah, I could see that.
That's the number one thing I could think of it being.
Did the Air Cobra? I guess the Air Cobra didn't necessarily have that kind of... It must have did
fine, honestly, because they didn't complain about it pretty much at all. I think they liked the 37mm gun quite a bit, and that's probably where a lot of that went in. The Soviets definitely appreciated Lend-Lease. They wrote after the war about, like, Stalin, or Khrushchev is quoted as saying that Stalin said that they would have lost without Lend-Lease. So that's a person saying what a person said. So you can't exactly take it 100%, but it certainly was important. Was it war winning? It's a debate, certainly. Takes on a
It
lot of
definitely made it.
nationalist characteristics too, like whether or not you think your side's better is usually what comes into it.
Yes, unfortunately, that's kind of what it's come down to. Is that like rather than it being kind of more likely the truth of the matter of that I just sped up what happened one way or another. It's just it's now kind of like a well, my side did it, so therefore,
Hmm.
or we thought, yeah, and not to say that way more Russians died. They way more Russians fucking did die. Ukrainians as well. Well, I mean, people in Eastern Europe, way more people died there than on the Western Front.
Hmm. It was a war of
Um,
extermination on the Eastern Front, right from the beginning.
Dude, God, and that just, ugh, yeah, war of extermination is a good way of putting it. I have you ever heard of Sarah Payne?
Yeah, actually, my friend had us listen to a lecture of hers the other day, of all things.
She's, yeah, I know, right? She's well, and I don't know what you thought about her, but
It
I
was
like
alright.
her. I definitely, I like that she leaves things open to disagreement. Um,
Well, that's the thing
or
about
that
history. You're not going to get a clear picture just from one historian. You need a kind of a group of them to get an idea of what really happened. Like looking at it, you can actually learn a lot by how different historians look at the same sources, and like looking at the historiography of an event.
doesn't and if I remember correctly, she works for or at least used to work for West Point or like the National War College.
Probably. I don't know
Um,
that much about her, so I can't say one way or the other.
I just wanted to look her up one day because I like she speaks on certain things that like I feel like I know enough about that I can say she speaks eloquently on. I like fuck yeah, dude.
Hmm.
Um, what lecture of hers did you watch, if I may ask? I watched one on it was the reasons for Japanese imperialism.
I think that it was something very similar to that. It was World War II themed, is all I can really remember about it. It was some time ago now.
She did the discussion I watched. She talked a lot about Holly Smoot tariffs and how kind of we almost teed or in the way she framed it, we kind of teed the Japanese up to do what they ended up doing in the 1930s.
Yeah, the whole Stimson doctrine or whatnot, um,
Yeah.
with our
Um,
Secretary of Defense being very anti-Japanese expansion, and the more anti-Japanese expansion we were, the more Japanese wanted to fight us, and we just kept going along that path because we didn't see any alternatives.
we didn't see how that would eventually with a very nationalistic nation how that would eventually end up with war.
I mean, I feel like we kind of wanted the war though, because we absolutely didn't want Japan to own China. And it's not
Yeah,
like the war didn't work out for us.
I could argue it. Yeah, it definitely could have gone worse.
Yeah, for sure. I mean,
Because
on the Pacific front, we didn't really take all that many losses. The U.S. only lost like 480,000 people in World War II in general, and I don't think the majority of them were in the Pacific front.
no, and it just there was a lot of shit that happened in the Pacific, and if the Japanese had just left Pearl Harbor and the Philippines alone, could you imagine how things would have been different?
They were so afraid of what would happen if they sailed by the Philippines that they felt like they had to attack it in the same vein that we felt like we had to embargo them. So it's hard to say if they even would have committed to that.
I mean, and I guess that's one of the points that like Sarah Payne made in one of the I guess it was a short that I watched, so I don't know the broad context, but and I guess I found myself genuinely agreeing with the at least limited discussion that I heard, where basically we had no interest in screwing with the Japanese, as like there was no appetite for war. publicly.
But in the
Um,
administration, there certainly was. Or at the
oh
very
yes, yeah.
least, preventing their expansion. Because
Uh,
it goes back to the open door policy in China, which had been our diplomatic goal with them, was to always be able to trade with China. And if Japan took them over, then obviously that wouldn't be as easy.
Now I'm curious if the communists had more power, and the Japanese may have been able to frame it to uh, the American government as anti-communism, which I don't agree with.
I don't think by the
But
30s they would have had much traction there, because in the 20s certainly there was the Red Scare and whatnot. But like by the 30s, I think we were over it pretty much. Americans worked in the Soviet Union often. In fact, the focus we're doing right now is foreign experts, and we're going to work with the U.S.
it's a good focus.
It really unlocks the potential for your industry quite a bit, in my opinion.
Do you do armaments production or PC of heavy industry?
For which one?
The industry. For the third 5-year plan, after that, do you go
Oh, I
reorganize?
always go reorganize
Okay, I
pretty
usually
much
go
every
shift to
time.
armaments production, but that's also just I tend to play differently.
I used to go the right path, but then I really like starting going on the left path.
I can see how it would,
In the
and like
long
looking
term,
at
it's
it,
better. For like just the Great Patriotic War, the right path is fine. But if you're wanting to fight the Allies, you got to build a whole shit ton of stuff.
yeah. Well, and if you do the path I normally go with, the back to the NEP path, you get some insane. I think you get like a 10% consumer goods to factory, or like what is that? How do I say that? Yeah, the you get a 10% factories put on consumer goods,
Okay.
and then if you get that -5% right there, um, that's pretty awesome.
Mm-hmm. We're gonna be building a bunch of military factories behind the Urals, if it isn't obvious. Oh yeah, and Japan attacks us nowadays, so something to keep in mind.
Oh yeah.
Which is
Um,
really odd. I don't know why that's a thing now, but whatever. Yeah, they want to make
I've
that
never
decision.
I've never actually had them attack me. Like they've broken the non-aggression pact, but they've never actually declared war on me.
Every time they do for me, they attack me all the fucking time now, like 1943 even, which is just suicide for them. By the way, I want to point that out.
At 1943, yeah, that would be suicide.
There was a plan at one point to attack the Soviet Union, but then they looked at the logistics of it and they're like, there's no way we could actually do it. And even if we took things, it would be Siberia.
Yeah, I mean, like literally, unless you're mining for rare earth resources, which who knows if those even exist out there, um, there's no reason to be out there.
Hmm. It's just a drain. You thought the attrition in Western Russia was bad. Try fighting through Siberia.
Oh, I have before. When I played as the White Russians, my first playthrough, I made the mistake of like focusing most of my effort near site like in Siberia rather than trying to get wet or trying to get west. Never again.
Yeah, you'll learn very quickly the downside of doing that. All right, good news. After we finish this focus, the Great Purge will be done.
And we can act. What do you do after that?
Industrialize.
Okay.
We just have a lot of time or downtime on our hands. If you want, you can go into the Civil War in China and fuck with them. But, dude, every time I do, I always think to myself, holy shit, the Japanese are strong now. Because they'll have like 800 planes attacking. In all sorts of full power divisions, landing all the time on the coastline. Like, I was playing as the Kaiserreich Germany, and I decided to help out China for some reason when one of my playthroughs not too long ago. And I swear, do you know where Fuzo is? Right here.
Yes.
They landed there, and I repelled them over 7 times. And that was in the frame of
Oh
like a year.
God, that would suck.
Oh yeah, no, it wasn't easy, dude. Medium tank divisions, and I still had a really hard time pushing.
When the supply situation in China is non-existent, literally.
It's atrocious. You have to build your own trains basically, and like your own railroads.
My anarchist Spain playthrough, one of my favorite things to do is taking over China, but that is like you just said, it is the worst to actually try and get through the uh, just the whole logistics situation because you have to build your own shit.
Mm-hmm.
And then the Japanese are like, no, I'll just take that anyways.
Yep. Like in the middle of building it, so you have to restart.
It's like, what do you mean? I just spent 5 months on that supply hub.
Yeah. That's what happens when you deal with the Japanese. They mess you up bad. It sure is fun fighting in China too. I enjoy the playthrough. China against Japan's a little easy these days. It can be a little hard as Japan fighting into China, just because once you get to like Chongqing, it's just supply hell. You're not going anywhere.
And then, like, if they happen to somehow have a victory point somewhere else, they just don't die.
Oh yeah, like
Or then,
usually you have to take like Kongding or Lingshan or definitely Guyang.
sometime we'll have to redo that Japan-China match that we did years ago,
I think
where
that
I,
one
I
you
was,
surrendered because you kept
oh, I
training on
did.
the front line for some reason.
It took you so long to notice, though. I got my army way more experienced, and then of course they all just died.
Yeah, they
Um,
died. You were training on the front line. Oh shit! What a crazy campaign.
uh,
Although you got me
but I
back
just
when you cheated me hard in the Japan USA game.
got 700 submarines in what was it, the Yellow Sea and the East China Sea. Oh.
I had made a bunch of naval bombers in preparation for you, and it was nowhere near enough.
What did your convoys look like? Like I did it
I
did it
had
go down?
I could have had enough for probably a couple more months. I guess it kind of depends on how good my naval bombers would have done against your subs, because I had sunk 80 in one battle. I recall
There was
this.
700 of them.
And that naval bug is just insane.
God, and I can't find anything like that. They have actually done a fairly good job of patching out most of the like
Yeah,
I have
darn
tried.
them. How
I have
dare they?
tried. How fucking dare they? Like I've thought about asking to revert to an older version of the game just so we can fuck around.
Lol. You know, it's funny you mentioned that. If you had said that for EU4, I would have actually told you, yeah, sure. Because I don't really care for EU4 past 1.3.6. So, like, the last 10 DLCs I haven't even played on their versions. I just play the old one.
I have yet to even play like any of the Europa Versailles
Oh, really?
games.
It's kind of fun.
I
I like colonizing quite a bit in those. Because it's like you waiting to see what resources you get and like how much money you can make off the new world kind of thing.
okay.
It's like Spain, you go sicko mode, dude. You get so much motherfucking gold because they let you conquer like Mexico and Inca. You're encouraged to do so.
It'd be interesting. Have you ever done one of those
Oh, a
not
mega
I guess
campaign?
yeah, mega campaign.
Nope. No, I don't know. I think it's a little weird, especially when like you play one game and you basically beaten it. You like almost own the whole world. What's the point of the second and third game? You know?
Especially if you're teeing it up correctly. Like theoretically that's not yeah.
Like,
But I guess
and how difficult would it be to play Crusader Kings? Like, what kind of countries would you have in HOI4 if you started with Crusader Kings? Is kind of what I'm wondering. Like, would the
have to
Golden
be
Horde be there still? Like, what the fuck?
I mean, yeah, that's the point. And maybe the Golden Horde will make it into Stellaris.
At that point, I'd rather play Civilization 5. You know, like, Might as well, because at least you get you know, like your weird scenarios like America building in the Hanging Gardens of Babylon.
God, I love that.
I
That
am
would
really fond of Civ 5. If you haven't checked it out on the channel, I've got a Civ 5 tier list of the different countries that Tankman and Curtis and I all went through.
I will have to check that out. Uh I haven't played Civ 5 since I think the last time we played.
Oh, do you remember what we were doing?
Oh, fuck if I remember. I think
Uh,
we may have had like one of my friends from that I worked with at Walmart at some point. I feel
oh
like
yeah, it could
we
have
may
been.
have,
I think I vaguely recall that.
it may have even been like Civ 6 or something like that.
Oh, I remember
Like
doing a Civ 6 playthrough with you where I was very briefly.
literally it was one of those things where like we just didn't get much done because none of us knew what we were doing.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Civ is one of those games that takes an eternity if everyone's not like clicking end turn as fast as they can.
or if you don't know what the hell you want to do, like it's just uh, uh, like there's the people who know how to like basically get spaceships as everybody's just figuring out guns.
Uh huh.
There's the guys who can somehow like destroy you with a caveman while you have guns. Um, then, oh, did you ever play Civ 4?
I have played it just a little bit. It's so spooky when I play it though that I never really get that far.
It really is different. I miss Civ 4. That was like my first Civ I started playing.
I was on 5 for my first one.
It's honestly, as far as like a game goes, I would say Civ 5 is so much better. Just there's aspects of Civ 4 that I miss. Like the way nukes work in Civ 4 is just so much better. Um, but yeah, no, other than that, I don't really have oh. I guess who's your favorite country to play in Civ?
Probably
Civ 5.
Spain. Not even close. Just
Okay.
because they get that, if they find natural wonders first, you get 500 gold, and then if you settle on them, they have double tile yield. So if like a good Spain game, you get 2 natural wonders, and you're just miles ahead of anyone else. All right, cool. With the Anschluss of Austria and the end of the Great Purges, I think this is a great time to end our session here. Next
Alrighty.
time when we return, we'll be doing a lot of building up, I take it, and just getting ready for the German onslaught, and probably taking over Finland and the Baltics and all the other minor Eastern European countries. I hope you enjoyed playing Zombie. It was sure nice having you on again.
Thank you for having me on, my friend. We will build a battle cruiser tomorrow.
Absolutely. So yeah, if you like the content, consider liking and subscribing. And until next time, Auf Wiedersehen.
Auf Wiedersehen.